Good morning. My name is Ali Al-Mashhadani. I'm an architect and urban planner from Iraq. I'm finishing my second semester in Okan University, Architecture Department and Urban Planning. Today I would like to discuss my research topic, which is related to ecological settlements. I hope you have the time to see this video. It has a lot of information related to refugee camps and the issue of displaced people, and we will discuss some solutions, hoping that it can take in the future how to build communities from lesson learned from eco-villages approaches. Let's see the slides.
Welcome back. So going back to our topic is reintroducing eco-villages as a solution approach for displaced people, Syrian refugee camps. The research is prepared by Ph.D. researcher Al-Mashhadani and supervised by Dr. semih.eryildiz. So going through to our topic, eco-villages are a social group highly dedicated to sustainable living. These planned communities promote realistic solutions trying to minimize the misuse of limited natural resources. The main purpose of this study is to observe the relation between eco-villages and sustainability. The theory review and collective research were done in order to investigate how these new societies can help in reintroducing eco-villages as a solution approach for housing displaced people of Syria refugee camps. In the last years, interest in these kind of social groups has grown rapidly due to the rising awareness of healthy living. Eco-village are spread all over the world, expanding in more communities. These social groups promote sustainability through initiatives or cooperative projects. In this study, we shall investigate some eco-village examples in order to learn how sustainability can take place in these communities and what kind of environmental friendly techniques implemented in these communities in order to save energy, water, and many other things related to sustainability and ecological thinking. So after we studied these eco-villages community, we will be analyzed while making use of communities of practice approaches. These studies case clearly show that valuable things concerning sustainability can be learned constantly in many different forms just by living in these communities. Finally, many opportunities lay for future refugee camps in Turkey and worldwide by implementing the same 10 eco factors, starting from planning and implementing process that will be as a sustainable approach. Keywords. We have 5 keywords: eco-village approach, reforming refugee camps, inclusive refugee camps, protective refugee camps, and healthy refugee camps. The Syrian refugee camp situation are very harsh and very terrible situation, and especially due to the political issues that these kinds of vulnerable groups are facing. and the living situation that they live through are very harsh and poor and very humble. And we are hoping that eco-villages can be a solution for them in the future. So the Syrian refugees or displaced people are rising a lot, especially in Turkey. Turkey houses more than 16 million of them, and the highest number of refugees registered in Turkey reached to 3.5 million in 2018, and by 2019 it reduce a little, but still the amount of refugees in Syria are very high, more than 16 million. This source of information was by the Turkish Ministry of Interior. All Syrian refugee displaced people are spread all over Turkey, but especially in Istanbul, which Istanbul houses more than 500,000 of them, and the other provinces are less, but we can say Razi Antab, Sifilnas, and Adina, Azmir, Bursa have some reach more than 400,000. So what can we do? What does refugee camps need? They need employment, building social cohesion, and second one is related to entrepreneurship in food and agriculture. So we are thinking about trying to rethink the past design approach of refugee camps to be much more sustainable oriented. So we're gonna try to rebuild communities, learning from the lessons of existing eco-villages, which can be useful in the new framework and can help us use what is fundamental to achieve the research goals. So in the picture, figure 5, we can see the main or the only sustainable development goals to reach a secure social net, a more healthy and environmental surrounding, a more business-oriented economic market. So we need to learn what are eco-villages. Eco-villages are human-scale, fully featured settlement in which human activities are harmless, integrated into natural world in a way that is supportive of healthy human development and can be successfully continued into the indefined future. So eco-villages and sustainability are very close together, and there's a study which is in 2018. This study studied more than 27 separate research projects related to eco-villages, which more than 60 eco-villages in the world, and took and find and identify 10 criteria and more than 119 indicators which are related to actions in different categories and dimensions, especially in social, economic, ecological, and cultural. On this basis, it's proposed a framework for all communities that would like to identify and develop an eco-village in the future. So what are those 10 criteria? The first one related to protection and conservation of the environment. The second one, provision of appropriate sustainable habits, which is related to climate design, social, individual, and spiritual capital, healthy lifestyle, both physical and spiritual, helping in saving energy and resources, self-resilience and support of local economy, water and waste management, solid waste management, human development and capacity building, and last, foresight or vision. So we took 13 eco-villages. 10 of them are in Europe, and 3 of them are locally here in Turkey. And we researched them on these 10 criteria, and there were very financing examples and fascinating examples, very successful in their practice, and especially the Turkish ones are very a good example that we can improve in other areas and other regions and help rebuild our refugee camp communities to be much more sustainable. So what can we learn from this matrix? The key findings from the study of eco-villages are eco-villages form because of the social need of people. So people need people. The second one, the size doesn't matter, because it matters in some kind, because the smallest is much more good. When you make it very big or maximize it, will be a chaotic situation. So my advice for future eco-villages planning, that they need to think it on a much more lower level, and then link them together with infrastructure and ways of connecting. The third one is intending residents should be found by appropriate eco-village proposal up front. So they need to learn the type of eco-villages and then to invite them to live there and pass some tests. The fourth one is the need of plan management agreed by the local government. Local government plays a very big part in this kind of projects in the future. They provide them with the guidance, performance standards, and possibly identify the lands for these kinds of projects. Eco-villages are more successful and sustainable if they provide employment on site. So the economic goal is very important, that they need to live from their hands and play a part in providing for their families and working and give a sense for their life. The seventh one is the more considerable opportunities for developing eco-villages in both urban and rural areas. That's a good example, because we cannot depend only on rural areas. We need to think about urban areas which are misused and reuse it in a much more sustainable way. The last one is there is a clear potential involving the local development, local Department of Housing in providing affordable housing situation with the eco-village projects or refugee camps. So as I mentioned before, it's very important that the local government play a very big part in this cooperation in the future. So we are trying to put our strategy on a test. So we made an analyzing SWOT for it, which we need to study their strengths, opportunities, and weakness and threats. Some of those strengths are related to building partnership. Local university and community organization can help evaluating the strength of local eco projects. It's very important that all play a part in building these kinds of, and it will help and benefit in the all run of the eco building. What kind of weakness that this kind of strategy will suffer? A lot of things: lack of free space, lack of land turnover, lack of awareness, lack of regularity, lack of formal relationships, limited resources, need for fresh food, suppliers, organic requirements are expensive, business startups are challenging, absence of larger scale waste composite systems, and other more. when we go to the opportunities, what kind of opportunities can refugee camps, eco-refugee camps can provide, can offer? It can improve local identity, create economic development, rise innovation economy, increase local climate resilience, reintegration workforce, lost building social capital and vibrant city integrationally and multiculturally learning and relation develop. These kinds of projects can help connect people to people. What kind of threats are facing our strategy? Definitely, every strategy faces some threats like development pressure, stress, lack of accurate financing and operation and maintenance, rise of low-cost organic products, instability of real estate costs, high population limiting, high cost in existing system, government do not have time to resources, lack of knowledge, liability associated with design and implementing villages on public land. So as a conclusion, now after we studied and made our strategy, as a summary for this, we now understand the concept of eco-villages and refugee camps. What perspective can it offer to the refugee camps sustainability as a sustainable development? So it's going to play in three parts. As we mentioned before, we're going to try to think of these factors and these goals. So it's going to play a part in social perspective, build an inclusion refugee camp, which creates a new way of life that is eco-village oriented, which can provide food security, nutrition, reduce poverty and innovation, and build a social inclusion for future. The second one is the economic perspective or a productive refugee camp, which also plays in building a future market oriented from eco-village concept that will support local income for all generations, creating employment for without jobs. Also, it will help build a new enterprise development and sustain market chain of supply. Third one, which is related to ecological perspective, which is related to building an environmental healthy eco refugee camp or village. This can be achieved by building a multifunctional eco-village strategy to make urban living more greener, recreation of green activities, making a productive use of urban waste, helping refugee camps reduce their ecological footprint, also build and improve urban microclimate and manage landscape and biodiversity of local ecosystems. So this is our strategy. We are going to play on these three goals: economic, ecological, and social. This strategy cannot work without one another. These goals are very important to reach our reformed shape of refugee camps, because we need to think about the displaced people, we need to think about the social impact they are improving, and we need to make it and change it from a negative impact to more a positive impact, so they can play their part in development, not just themselves, even the local communities. This is the list of references that I took and studied, and I'm open for any comments and questions. You have my email. It's in the first slide, me and my supervisor, and we hope you enjoyed our topic and research and our findings, and I would like you to share this information, like it, comment about it, ask any question, and we will try to comment and build that kind of interacting conversation with each other to benefit from it in the future for our new designs of eco refugee camps. Thank you for your time and your patience. Sorry for my bad English, but I'm trying to be much more better in the future. Thank you once more.